What came up for me this morning is the difference between prayer and contemplation. And for me, prayer is a conversation with God, and then contemplation is listening. And contemplation for me is also maybe taking something that I read and digesting it, allowing myself to understand all the aspects of it, especially as I read this material on quantum physics, and science was never my strongest suit. But my desire to understand it means that I need to sometimes read a single page several times, and then it'll come to me. And then what I do is I roll that around like a marble inside my brain. And the other thing I do when it comes to contemplation, especially sacred contemplation, if there is a poem or even a refrain from a piece of music or um, a passage from the Bible or something from a sacred book, a book you consider sacred, that is just stuck on you, like that's just in your bones. I recommend that you make a voice recording of it in your own voice. And that in your time of contemplation, or especially in your time of meditation, contemplation I find better in silence. But sometimes in your meditation, you can invite that passage in where your frontal cortex does not need to be engaged in all the tasks of reading, but the listening to your own voice read you something that's really meaningful to you can provide a pathway to just a deeper way to consider those words that attracted you in the first place. There's probably a meaning there waiting for you to discover it through contemplation. So, a good exercise would be take your time and find a passage that really moves you. Take the moment and record yourself reading that passage slowly, evenly, and then in meditation, listen to it as a mantra, and just see how the words hit you, what comes up for you after, and then after your meditation, engage in a little contemplation. Just let the silence surround you. Let yourself connect to that still point. And it's in that still point. Sometimes it feels like a beaming arrow. Sometimes it feels like a soft diffuse light. It changes for me every time. But in that contemplation, it might bring you somewhere new. And so that's what's come up for me today. And I will see you tomorrow.